Good morning, everyone. Corey here with Ride Suspension. Going to talk about a topic that I've been getting a lot of questions asked about lately, and that is sag and the different types of preload adjusters and how we set sag and what tools we use. This will be kind of a lengthy video. We'll go for whatever we can from there. So we'll start off on the different types of preload adjusters. So we have different types of preload adjusters. This is your standard preload adjuster that you see on almost every MX shock, everything like that. You have a lock ring, then you have your collar. Then we go over to WP. WP has a lock ring and a collar. We use a spanner wrench on these so it doesn't mar up the plastics or anything like that. And then you have like the WP track system. They have a preload adjuster which takes 8mm, and also Extreg has the same deal. I run it, everything like that. It just takes an 8mm to fully adjust all of the suspension and makes it so you don't have to use, like what I have is I have a hammer and a shock punch for these, and then you don't have to do that. You just use an 8mm, go from there. And it saves for tight spaces such as the spanner wrenches. So with all of those, we have a lot of questions on what is the first thing to do when it comes to when you get a new bike or used bike or anything like that, and how do I do it? And that would be setting sag. So if you don't know what, there's hundreds and thousands of videos out there to set sag. And you can do it. The way I do it with my riders and everything like that is I run a slacker. This thing makes it easy, keeps all the settings in my phone, so if I'm out at the track and somebody's like, hey, what was my sag set to? I mess with it, I can easily go on my phone. It's under their bike, everything's saved, I can go from there. With that, it's very easy to do. I'll do a video on setting sag when I have a rider, and we'll set some sag for him. But pretty much I'm gonna give you the gist here is, so sag and preload, they coexist. Sag is how much the rear end or the shock compresses when you sit on the bike or stand on the bike or anything like that. And the normal range for sag is normally 100 plus or minus 10mm, depending on what you are. So the big thing that affects sag, of course, is your weight and your spring. If you're overweight for a light spring, from where you're sitting already, you're gonna have so much sag that you're not gonna be able to compensate that in the shock body. Because I mean, you only got a certain amount of adjustment. That also helps us determine if you need a bigger spring or not, smaller spring, so on and so forth. And we can tell that from your static sag, which is nobody sitting on the bike and it's just sitting on the ground. So, yeah, that's pretty much where we're at before messing with any of the settings. Any of the clickers, anything like that. Setting sag is probably the most crucial part of riding. It makes sure the bike is balanced, make sure that it works. Your suspension's getting the full stroke within internally, and it's just make sure that you have the most performance out of your shock to go from there. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment, shoot me a DM, and we can go from there. Thank you.